top 10 hottest comics of the week based off of Covrprice's data. That is right. It's not speculation. It's not like, oh, I think this book is hot. It is actual data. Each and every week, Covrprice dishes out. They release a list on Monday. Our show is live every Friday. We like to dissect things. Normally, Chris actually takes the top 3 most interesting books on that top 10 list. This week, we're doing something different because this week, the list is like, we've never seen this before. It is fascinating. So we're going to get into it right now. I'm going to have Chris lead the way on this after I read off to everybody the top 10 hottest comics of the week. Here we go, everybody. That is right. We have at number 10, we have Kanto, number 1 from IDW. Number 9 is Marvel's Voices. Number 1, the first appearance of the Goddess Spider, first cameo of the Children of the Atom. That book is an interesting book. People are either trashing or loving. At number 8, West Coast Avengers, number 45. We all know why that book is hot, and I love John Byrne. Number 7, Ultimate Fallout, number 4. At number 6, by the way, Ultimate Fallout, number 4. I mean, come on. At number 6, Spidey Super Stories. Number 5, we have Slam, number 1 by Boom. At number 4, our good friends at Bad Idea, ENIAC, number 1. I love that this is on the list each and every week, guys. Chris and I, we're happy to have Dinesh on to speak about his company, but we believed in it before he came on. So anyways, number 3 is Lenore, number 1. Number 2 is Mystery Girl, number 1 from Dark Horse. And at number 1 is Nottingham, number 1 from Mad Cave. Chris, what are the similarities we see in this list this week?
Yeah. So, I mean, I usually go through and I can pick out 3 books and say, boom, boom, boom. I pick out 3 books because of crazy reasons. I pick out 3 books because of, value jumps or just why books are hot. This week, I couldn't just pick 3 books. But what we see on this list that we've never seen before, we've been doing the show for almost a year. I've never seen a list that is not only dominated by independent books, but how each of those independent books is by its own publisher. Check this list out. IDW, right? Boom. Bad Idea, Slave Labor, Dark Horse, and Mad Cave. And the top 3 on the list, Lenore, number 1, Slave Labor. 2, Mystery Girl, number 1, Dark Horse. And number 1, Nottingham, number 1, Mad Cave. You have 6 different indie publishers hitting the top 10 this week. No DC, a few Marvels, and that's it. Tell me, how many of you would have ever expected this? So let's talk about, though, why these books are on this list. So outside of, we're going to put Bad Idea, ENIAC, number 1 aside real quick. But the 5 other ones, it's all about programs, or TV series or movies being opted by these networks or studios. Every single one of those 5 projects has been opted for either a live action TV show, an animated TV show, or a live action feature film. And I've talked about this before, and I'm going to talk about it again today. What does that show me? It means that comic books are such a huge medium in terms of the art form that they are, that they're really the soil right now that's nurturing all these other artistic platforms, because we're taking the stories from the comic books and we're bringing them into TV shows and into cartoons and into the movie theaters. And it's not just the superhero genre. It's not just Marvel and Spider-Man and Avengers. It's not just DC and Justice League and Superman and Batman. It's all kind of different genres, mystery, horror, children's adventure, fantasy, sci-fi. And they're all looking at comic books. You have these big networks and big studios saying, where do we get creators anymore? You're not just going to your I don't even know. I can't even, your Ridley Scotts and your Steven Spielbergs or, Zemeckis's and all these people. They're going to comic books to get these stories from. So when everyone sits there and says, people don't read comic books anymore. You got to be kidding me, dude. I'm just telling you.
Movies, though. Just kidding.
And that too. And hey, look, and it pairs because there's so many people that are out here reading these comics that they know that they could take these properties and put them into movies for those people that watch movies, right?
Connect with the characters, right? Because watching them come to life on a screen is much different than reading them in the story, because you have this vision of how you think this person is. And then to watch them come to life, it draws you in more. Or it has the opposite effect also, where if you didn't read the book, but you watch the movie or the series and you're like, you know what? I really need to go back and read this because I want to see where this came from and how this came to fruition.
Absolutely spot on. I mean, I think you took my thoughts right out of my head and my mouth.
I'm sorry. Right. You passed it to me, so I took it.
Yeah, no, and for me, because I agree with everything that you just said and how you worded that, it feels so good for me to hear that, especially coming from you and someone in your position with your knowledge and whatnot. It means a lot. So it really goes to show people need to understand and respect what's going on with this industry right now. And I think this is huge. And I do want to talk about Bad Idea again, because look, here they are. What is this, Jeff? Three weeks in a row now that they've been on the list, or is it just 3 weeks, right?
From the launch of their company. And it's
from the launch of their exactly.
First book ever.
What a great accomplishment out the door.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They did it right. And we've talked about many reasons why they've done it right. And people are going to hate on it, what have you. But again, we think those are the speculators who can't get 20 copies of this book.
Right.
And who didn't even get one copy, knowing they could have ordered this over a year ago,
right,
up until 2 months before the book was released. You had the opportunity.
That shows the talent and the powerhouse that they put behind them.
Exactly. That's they take that into that's something they consider strongly. And you got people. Yeah. You got top of the line people working on those books. And again, Tankers is coming out on April 7th. Pretty psyched to see that book coming out. And we'll see what happens though. We'll see if people aren't going to miss the boat on that first issue of that series. We'll see what happens. It's the same rules to buy that book. You can't buy multiple copies in one store and all that stuff. So we'll see.
I love that they can do that. I love that they're putting those rules in place.
Yeah.
Yeah. They again, they're catering to people who are collectors, and the other rule is that they have, you can pre-order or have a pull list in your comic book shop for your first print, but then they will always indefinitely produce what they call not first prints.
Yeah.
Right? So that caters to the people who want to read it. They can get that copy.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting concept, and actually one that we feel like makes sense. But
I love that rule. I think that it stops people from manipulating the market.
Exactly. That's it. And that's, Dennis, they put the CEO they put a lot of thought into what they were doing. And again, they knew that they're going to get a lot of pushback on it, and they have for this first issue. We'll see what happens down the road with more of their releases. But Chris, I don't know, are there any other points you want to bring up about the top 10?
No, I think we really hit the nail on the head here. I love, I love seeing this mix of books and reasons, I do want to give a big shout out to my guy Miles for making that list yet again. I just got to say that. but yeah, no, I just happy. Like I said, 6 different indie publishers in the top 10 this week. Just beautiful.
I think that shows the overall strength of the market as well.
Yep.
That people are considering other books other than the big 2, and that's very important for the health of this market. Just to see other options, other people picking up other lesser known properties, and actually not only picking them up, but dropping some cash on these, right? So Canto's no joke.
Well, and I speak to being hungry for more than just superheroes.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
More than anything, it's like, well, Marvel crushes superheroes in the movies and everything else, but people love those darker, deeper stories.
Yeah.
They can really, because like everyone can't connect with being a superhero, right? People can connect with misery and trials, and like it's true though.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 points are Tinian's book, James Tinian's book. You got Department of Truth and Something is Killing the Children. Those are 2 hot titles right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 super hot titles that, there's supernatural things involved, but not superheroes and people,
Right.
with
But that's
superpowers.
different. Yeah.
Yep.
So it's cool
And to
see
that too, you look at what Kevin Feige's doing with superheroes and taking the superhero out of the superhero genre and putting it in spy espionage or some kind of crazy TV sitcom where you don't know what you're going to get from episode to episode. So yeah, I mean, absolutely, there's so much more to be told outside of just, and that's why, hey, Jeff, this goes back to Radiant Black. When I read issue #1 of Radiant Black, it was like, some guy finds a suit, becomes a superhero, and it's like, okay, this is the same thing being told and told again. We want that something different. We want stuff that we can relate to more, that branches outside of that basic structure, you know?
Box.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. But anyways, it's really interesting to see this kind of this indie dominated list. So that is our top 10 hottest comics of the week. There will be a new and interesting list next week.